Mentors: How to Help and Be Helped. Written and read by Russell Brand.
Introduction. Have you ever heard Brian Cox or any other particle physics genius, they're ten a penny after all, describing the vastness of our universe? The likelihood that even beyond its fathomless reach are more and more, likely an infinity of universes. When I, with my blunt intellect, fondle these imponderables, I feel suspended between awe and despair. Within the infinite, all forms of measurement become meaningless, as they can only refer to parochial patterns, time and the laws of physics, only local customs in our universal village. When I hear Cox speaking of Carl Sagan, however, the giant star of astronomy who inspired the then adolescent scientist, I feel held between awe and hope. Sagan was a mentor to Cox. Although they never met, Sagan functioned as a mental symbol, a target, a role model that the younger man could emulate on his own journey to greatness. A hero is an emblem that demonstrates the possibility of inner drives becoming manifest. It could be John Lennon, whose journey from ordinariness to greatness, from glamour to domesticity, from grandeur to humility, provides coordinates to others who want to undertake a comparable journey. It might be Amma, the Indian teacher and mystic, whose certainty of God's love has generated profound social change across Asia. Her devotion has inspired others through philanthropic works to establish schools and build hospitals and homes. At first, of course, though, she was dismissed as a mad teenage girl in a fishing village in Kerala, going into trances and cuddling everyone. People thought she was nuts. Greatness looks like madness until it finds its context. Mentorship is a thread that runs through my life now in both directions. I have men and women that I turn to when the way ahead is not clear, and younger people that look to me for guidance in their own crazy lives. Note that the mentor's role is not solely as a teacher, although teaching is of course a huge part of it. When Cox talks admiringly about Carl Sagan, it's not just because of his academic expertise, it's because he felt personally guided by him. Watching Sagan's emotional take on science in Cosmos was the trigger that made Cox, at 12, decide to become a scientist. We choose mentors throughout our lives, sometimes consciously, sometimes not, sometimes wisely, sometimes not. The point of this book is to understand this process and to improve it. When selecting a mentor, we must be aware of what it is we want from them. When we are selected as a mentor, we must know what the role entails. One of the unexpected advantages that my drug addiction granted me is that the 12-step process of recovery that I practice includes a mentorship tradition. When you enter a 12-step program, you have to ask someone else to guide you through the steps, or sponsor you. This typically induces an unwitting humility. Few people would say, "Hey babe, it's your lucky day, I want you to take me on a spiritual journey." Usually one feels a little shy on asking someone to sponsor them, a little meek, a bit like you're asking them on a date. In undertaking this, we accept that our previous methods have failed, that we need help, that our own opinions are inferior to the wisdom of the mentor and hopefully the creed that they belong to. In 12-step custom, the sponsor teaches the sponsee the method by which they practice the 12 steps. They replace their own sponsor, and they give to another what they have been given. Whilst it may bear personal inflections, it's sufficiently faithful to the original program to inhere its power. The same, I note, is true in martial arts traditions. There's a lineage and a system that is carried from teacher to student. Clearly there are parallels in academia, but anyone who's been to school knows that mass education can be pretty inconsistent, and the average harried educator has too many bureaucratic and financial burdens to mindfully endow more than a handful of pupils with the elixir of mentorship. In this book I will talk to you about my mentors, how they have enhanced my life in practical and esoteric, obvious and unusual ways.